Okay, that Easter egg is for just a few people who actually know that thing. But anyway, great to have you. I am wearing one of my best favorite new outfits. It is a apron. We recently launched some Vidyuu merch. It's vidyuu.com/merch. And this is one of the new ones. I really love cooking. We used to have a cooking show back in the day where I talked like that the entire time. Oh my gosh. So anyway, if you want to check out some of the cool merch like this guy, and I know I keep pointing, it's so funny. Anyway, I love this thing. Really cool. Very stylistic. You can see it's got all the things you'd expect from an apron, including making you warm when you are in VR. So now that we're done with that, I'd like to welcome you here into Horizon Royale. I know we're starting about 10 minutes early. I wanted to get started with just a little bit of kind of show and tell before we get into the actual tutorial. And so with 9 minutes on the clock, we're going to start by showing you something we implemented yesterday in Horizon Royale. There are grenades out there, and these grenades will now... Oh, let me switch the camera, sorry. Boop. There you go. Okay, now you can see what we see. All right, so there are grenades out there that will blow you up and send you flying, and it's very similar to what we're working on today, so I thought we'd take a quick peek at that, and then we'll go check out the old world. Yeah, okay, so we're good. I'm like, I forget on desktop, for some reason I don't have haptic feedback. I guess it's a pro thing, so this is just like not as good feeling as it normally is. Oh, Takatato, welcome. We're on the live stream. Say hello to all the people at home. Say hello. You're on the live stream. All right, so we are gonna go test out the new grenades. Come give a bomb a. Wait, what? So yeah, that's what we're working on today. We're doing some TNT and shooting Billy. Hi, Billy. And so my favorite thing to do with these new grenades is basically you shoot them, run up, and then jump, and then you get blasted upwards. It does take you down to 1 health, but still pretty... No! And he got me. So there we go. Grenade. Oh, that's not a grenade. Those are rings. I do love shooting the rings, though. They are a lot of fun. But if you can find a grenade, try blowing them up. I see what looks like a grenade right here. Although there isn't one there, so somebody's either holding it or there's a bug, either of which might be likely. I did fix the bug yesterday, though, so wasn't... There are 2 over there? Okay, I found one here. Maybe someone was holding it. Okay, so here we go. Grab, and Billy and I, let's stand on the bomb. Ah! Pow, 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 pow. So that should disappear after a few seconds. Maybe it just takes a minute. That's so weird. Are they not disappearing? Are the old... I even felt a little shockwave hit me. That was great. That's so weird that that's not disappearing. Today was a new update, though, and you know how new updates in Horizon can be, so... All right, let's do it. I'm gonna jump. Oh, yeah, that was awesome. And so the idea today is we're going to be building some TNT that can basically launch objects and players. And so we had... Look at... He went flying. Oh, that was great. So yeah, TNT, way more fun than ever before now in Horizon Royale. And we'll keep working on it. But today we're going to be building something very similar. And in fact, Kingdom Heart basically finished this last time. So we're going to want to look at his code, and then we're going to refactor it to be a little bit... I'm not sure what the right term is, but we're going to make it a little bit better. So easier to use, I think, might be the right way to describe it. Oh, I found a grenade. What in the world? Oh, the grenades are in weird positions. I got him. Let's go. All right. So with that, I'm going to head back to the lobby. And they should only have a couple minutes left, but we're going to actually just end this game early. Great playing with you. This is a map by Mama Bree. It is steampunked. Encourage you to check this out, along with some of the other amazing maps. Looks like Takatato queued up pastel pipes. What a gent. But we aren't going to continue playing here, so I'm sorry to keep us moving. We're going to move on to the next world, which is the one that we recently launched and the one that we're building and working in today. But if you haven't seen pastel pipes, this is it. Lots of pipes, lots of tubes to hide in. It's amazing. Okay, builders love explosions. This is the new world that we're working on. We're going to head to the published version of this, so I will see you guys there. All right, how much time we got on the clock? I know we're a little bit ahead of schedule. 5 minutes. Okay, so we're still good. We got 5 minutes, and we're going to go and check out this one. And then I wanted to show in build mode a couple of the scripts behind the scenes before we start building the new script. So just taking this time to really give you a little sneak peek and some insight here. Feel free to drop a hello in the chat. I see we got quite a few people here. I think my screen might be malfunctioning. Let me double check. Select, control, refresh, and did that. I'm just so used to you guys being chatty. Well, feel free to say something. Don't forget to drop a like, and appreciate y'all being here today. Okay, let's go ahead back in, and here we are in the published world. And making sure my audio is coming in. Yeah, it is. Okay. Whew, shake. So people will be here, but in the meantime, check out this TNT. So this first one's got to be the best. I'm going to just slightly move these out of the way. And what we should see is ideally when this TNT blows up, it creates kind of like a ricocheting outwards. Basically, what you saw in the grenades in the Horizon Royale was that the closer you were to the grenade, the further you got blown up. Welcome, Isha. Welcome, Lindsay. Great to have you guys. Thank you so much for joining. I was a little concerned that my thing wasn't working, but I appreciate you guys. Oh no, I blew up the TNT. Ah, no, what's going to happen? Oh, and as you can see, everything goes flying. It's amazing. Welcome, White Sword. Thank you guys so much for joining today. And so, yeah, this TNT is awesome. And then you'll notice that it also blows up players. And the closer you are to it, the further you get blown up. And, oh, it's Mama Bree. Hey, we were just playing your map in Horizon Royale. Yeah, woo! Welcome, Jay Hollum. Great to have you here. So, yeah, the TNT, pretty awesome. You guys, well, let's go and quickly grab all of the blocks and place them around the TNT, and then we'll blow it up one more time for good measure. And if you weren't here last time, which I believe was just like 3 days ago, I don't know, we're having fun with this build, but basically you can take these objects, snap them onto here, and then the roller is going to roll through this. Give it a second. And okay, and on the other side, it comes out slightly fatter, slightly longer, and you can keep rolling it through over and over and over again, which is super duper cool. And so the idea behind this world is that you're going to be able to build and blow stuff up. And so I've just, did it work? Yeah, there it goes. So it's going to go through again and again. And stretching is also a great word. White Sword says, I tried to make a bridge by shrinking. Oh, and I wanted to see it shrink. By shrinking a cube as much as I could. But then I realized I couldn't walk on the cube. Peculiar. Yeah. There's definitely size limits. I think that is indeed the case, where you probably can't hold on to something thin. But I don't know. I'm curious. I'm very curious. Okay, we've got a lot of blocks in here. You guys have done fantastic work while I played around. So now I'm going to go ahead and pull the index trigger, and we're going to blow this up. Everybody come in close. Come in close. Get in here, Billy. Get in. Okay. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Launch me! Yeah! And so, you know, we love explosions and we love exploding people. So today we're going to learn how this was done and how to make this. Okay. Is it just me or is there no game sound? Let's see. Yeah, let's check and find out. So keep talking, Billy. You can hear yourself? I can't see your guys' audio coming in. I think they are right. There is no audio output capture for some reason. Let me quickly check the settings. Checking settings. It should be an easy fix, you'd think. Oh, right, it only works on the computer. I forgot. Okay, device, default, headphones, Oculus, press Oculus, not Oculus. Okay, now say hello.
Hello.
All right, now our audio's in. Thank you guys for commenting and letting us know. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad we figured that out. So yeah, let's blow up the TNT one more time so you can hear it.
Oh, I missed it.
You did miss it. That was great.
I did.
So yeah. Oh, whoa! Look at that thing go!
Jesus.
Oh, and it's
I
back.
didn't realize it travel that fast.
Yeah, you just got to be
That's
good at
pretty far.
tossing. Okay, so we're gonna head into build mode. We are missing our good friend Kingdom. I think he's got like one. No, it's like this is time. Welcome.
There he is.
Hey, there he is. Like I was about to say you were late, but no, you made it just in time. So good, so good.
Just in time.
So we were just enjoying your blowing up explosion here. Also, Tape, welcome!
I don't particularly know if it will work in this version here.
Oh, it does. It works great. We've been enjoying it for days. But we are going to start from scratch. So the goal today is to skim through the grenades that we built in Horizon Royale, which do a very similar concept. And we're also going to skim through your code. And then we're going to start from the beginning, in part to show people how it's done, but also to start with kind of like a really solid foundation. And so one of the debates that I have right now is how we're going to get a list of the objects, because I don't really want to make a list. Like, I don't want to have to attach a script to every block. Now, there is some benefits to attaching a script to every block, but for now, what I plan to do is take a giant trigger and run it through the whole world and just register
just use
all
a giant trigger, yeah.
Yeah. And so it's kind of hacky, but it definitely works. And then the other thing that we're going to do is put a trigger below the world because the objects don't come back if they get blown off the world. So we need to put a trigger to loop them back in, which is actually, you might remember in the previous stream, I had said, we had 2 triggers, blah, blah, blah. I totally forgot what the second trigger did. The second trigger was actually detecting blocks and then respawning them above the world to fall back down. So okie doke. Let's go ahead into build mode and nobody invite Billy. Just kidding, Billy. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Billy's not allowed.
Look at his face. Oh man. The pro is good for one
Billy.
reason, guys, just to see people's face open. All right, I'll see you guys in build mode. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, Tape, I'm so sorry that I scared you. That's so funny. And if you guys haven't already, shout out to Galactic, who's in the chat with us today, who's working on our merch channel. This is a brand new piece of merch that you can now get. It is an apron. I love cooking, so this is definitely one of my new faves. And I'm going to try and keep the grease splattering onto the apron. So wish me luck. And if you want to check this out, it's vidyuu.com/merch. All right, guys, we are back in the build mode. And so what I'm going to quickly show you is how it was done in Horizon Royale, but we're not in Horizon Royale, so oopsie daisy. So instead, what I'm going to do is start by writing a quick script that basically shows that what you do to get all the players in the world is track when they enter and exit the world. So we grab when enters world, when exits world. We create a list of player IDs, and so this is just a PLIDS list. Okay, and confirm. And so then when player enters world, we then add to list. There we go. And when player exits world, we remove from list. And I'm not going to write all my safety features in that you're probably well aware of. We're just quickly sketching this out. So when world is entered by player, we add them. When world is exited, we remove them. And then when something happens, which we're going to just call when event is received. And so in Horizon Royale, we send an event and that event is received. We then loop through this list of players. Oh yeah, I forgot about the car. They're crushing the car. Oh my gosh,
the car was so great.
It was so great. So when this event is received, we have to quickly loop through the players and then find out if they're close enough to the explosion. So this event is often received with a vector, which represents the position. And then I don't know if we need anything else. And so what we're doing is checking the torso position of the player and then applying a force. And so you would say if, and then we want to grab the add player physical velocity. Quickly running through this because we're going to do this again a little bit later on in more detail. And then we're going to grab a new player variable called current plid and confirm. And then my favorite way to cycle through a list of players is to create a second list of players called iPlids and confirm. And so before we start the while loop, we set iPlids to be a copy of the plids list. There we go. And then we say, while the length of eyelids is greater than 0, meaning there are players in this list, so we need to go grab the length of from down here, length of list, put that into the A slot, length of eyelids greater than number input from the values tab of 0. And so while the length of eyelids is greater than 0, we're then going to check the distance of item 0 from the list. And then we remove item at index 0 from the list as soon as we are done with that. So we remove item 0 from the eyelids list. This will quickly cycle us through. And then what we want to do is determine what the distance is. And we can determine that. There's a couple different ways. So we're going to set a new vector variable called direction. Distance direction might be a better name because the vector will also be a distance vector. And so we're going to set this distance direction to be the subtraction of our player's current position minus the position that the bomb exploded at. And so then we can go and grab position of player from right here, dropping that there, position of torso, and then we need to get item 0 from the list. So we'll scroll down to list where we can get item from list at index 0 from the eyelids list. So now that we have the torso position of that player, we subtract the position. That gives us a distance direction vector. That distance direction vector is what we can use to blow the player up. And so what we want to do is multiply this distance direction by some amount, which is the amplitude or the intensity. And so then in Horizon Royale, we're multiplying by 2. If you want it to be more intense like this one, you might want to multiply by 3 or 4. But that's just kind of per your desire for how intense you want it to be. And then I did want to save our current PLID to make our script a little bit more efficient. So what we do is we set that current PLID variable we created earlier to be this get item 0 so that we can use it here and here. And then we could just drop this in here, but that wouldn't give us the upward momentum. And so what I like to do is add a plus symbol right here and grab that distance direction, adding a vector with some up amount. So 0 plus like say 3. And I think in Horizon Royale, we're actually using 7. So I'll just write 7 in here. And so then the last thing we want to do is what allows us to know that the player is close enough to the bomb to get blown up. We're going to use a less than symbol. And so with this less than says if the distance direction is less than some amount. And so we're going to say that you want to be within 10 meters of the bomb to actually get blown up by it. And so we're going to type in a 10. And then we can then take the magnitude of that vector, that distance vector. And so if you've never used magnitude, it returns the distance of a vector. And so say, for instance, you have your explosion position here, the player is standing here. When you subtract the 2, you get a line that's drawn between these two positions, sort of. So that's what the vector is, right? So it's a distance. Then when we get the magnitude, it measures the length of that distance. And so that's going to tell us if the distance is less than 10, add to physical velocity with that direction, or plus a 7, which gives us a lot of upward momentum, and then multiplied by 2. I actually forgot to normalize this. So this plus symbol should actually be normalized first. And so normalizing takes that distance down to 1 meter in length. And so to kind of visualize that again, if you imagine you have the explosion position, the player position, and then we add 7, this gives us a nice direction pointing upwards towards the player. We then normalize it down to 1 meter. We multiply it by 2, which is our intensity, although I'm remembering some of the other code we wrote to make it more intense the closer you were. And to do that, we knew that it was 10, and so we took 10 minus magnitude. 10 minus magnitude of this would give us a higher number. The further away it is, the lower. Yep, so this number 2 is actually replaced with a subtraction. And so you take that 10 and then subtract from that 10 the further away they are, which is that magnitude of the distance. So the intensity is determined by how close they are. We could have used this to help determine intensity, but normalizing it just makes it a lot easier because we get that nice direction that we're looking for. Okie doke. So that is the script to blow players up. I know I went through it really fast. We are going to go through it again. But if you just came for that, there it is. I'll just quickly skip it. But yep, that's how you blow players up. We're going to now go and do it in a way that blows up both players and objects. And wow, look at them. They're building. You know, I thought this was a game to like blow stuff up, but for some reason they're actually building. No! That was so fun. I love it. Oh, it's so great. Okay.
Hey, take this.
So I'm going to set this off to the side and give it a name in case we come back to this. And this is like base boom. Base boom.
Almost hit my coffee
Blitz.
table.
Okay, base boom blitz. That is the name of this script. It is a basic booming of player IDs. So we wanted to quickly take a look at Kingdom's script here. And so I'm going to just skim through. So he's got a block register script, which is going to say when world is started, send the register block event to the manager with self. So this gets a list of all the blocks. Now you'll remember we're going to do that slightly differently. Now the TNT has a bunch of things going on in it to like flicker the color. He's got the adding of players and removing of players, just like we're doing when index trigger is pressed. And then when light TNT is released, it does a bunch of stuff. We're not going to read all the stuff, but you can kind of see it's like flickering lights. It's making. So then we got a list of objects. We're going to go through that list of objects to push them. So you can see he's added them here. Slightly out of chronological order, but I'm following. Push play loop. So here's a loop to push player IDs, quite similar to what we've done. And then we've got a push object loop. Now you'll notice that he's taken this outside of a while loop so that it doesn't break, and instead is sending the loop to self until this event is finished, which is similar to a while loop, but it doesn't have the constraints that a while loop does, because a while loop will break after a period of time. Same thing with the objects here. Very similar stuff. Adding some spin is nice. I love that idea. Continues looping until it's done. Explode loop. Some colors. So there's the color flickering. And some moving back to original position, original rotation. Nice. Very, very cool. Our explosion manager should be, the list of all the objects? What is this? Registers received by block. Add TNT. So I think this was some other stuff. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move this off to the side. And I'm not sure what this trigger was, but we're going to quickly read it. I guess it was just the manager. Yep, we're going to group that and maybe ungroup. Sorry, 1 second. I'm going to ask that you go ahead and make a copy of this script, Kingdom, in case I... Oh, you already did, so you got a copy of this. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything. It's gone. It's okay. Just trying to keep the world a little clean. I'm like, I probably should delete this one. We'll come back to it. Okay. We've got the human crowbar that we developed last time. We've got the C4. I like the C4 as we can add a countdown to it, which is nice. I am a little worried about this being too reminiscent of Minecraft TNT and even like the flickering. So
yeah, it was literally just a simple thing that I built really quick.
Thank you, Galactic, for answering the questions in the chat about merch. Appreciate that. Because, yeah, she's in charge of our merch department. So shout out to Galactic, Victoria there. And yeah, we've got a bunch of new merch that recently dropped for Horizon Royale. And yeah, so thank you. Thank you. Okay, so what we're going to do now is stop the world. I've got some tasks for our friends here. I noticed that there's this. These are probably the particle effects for the explosion, huh? Okay, we're going to just move all this stuff up here. So I've got some tasks for our friends Billy and Mama Bree. If you guys want to find some cool objects that people will want to flatten, I think that would be fantastic. So just things that people want to blow up and flatten, can build with technically, but are mostly for the purposes of, you know, having fun. I also noted that it was really hard to reset an object. So I'm raising the trigger, so even if the object is placed above this, it still resets it. Okay. Okie doke. We've got all of that. I wanted to go down to just a singular object over here. Just one singular block object. And there we go. Opening of the properties panel, interactive, grabbable, physics, both. Got it. Okay. All the things here are good. And we're going to leave this here for now. The car Did somebody move the car?
Well, well,
Well, maybe.
it may or may not have gotten thrown out of the world.
Okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
What is this? What is this? You guys see this here? It's not real.
Nope.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're gonna ignore that. You guys keep looking for good things to crush. Is that a Lego man?
It's a robot.
It's a Lego robot.
It's from the asset library. Like
Interesting.
legit it's from the asset library.
Okay. So let's start with the most important piece, which is getting a list of all of the objects. I actually think the most important piece is making sure the objects don't leave the world. So actually, we're going to start with that. So here's a trigger. Here's a script. We're going to need 2 of these. So we're going to start by attaching script up here. Now with script attached to this trigger, we can note that this trigger is going to be for objects tagged block. And so all of our objects have to be tagged block, but if they are tagged block, any object with that block tag will engage with the script, which is awesome. So
Put 'em over here
checking
with
that
the
I did call this block, I did. Okay, scrolling back up. So this is kind of crazy because we haven't put any script on our blocks. And this is so that we can have lots of random things that we can just make engage with our system without having to attach a script. Now, attaching a registration script wouldn't be that hard, but this is just one less step. So this trigger is the falling off world trigger. Fall off world. Just want a better name. Block off world. That's what we'll call it. We'll call it block off world. Sounds better. Okay. Block off world. And so what we know in the block off world script is that when the trigger is entered by an object, we want to move to the center of the world and then just kind of fall back down. And so I wish we had a position, but I think we're just gonna not be super picky about it. So we're going to move the object that's fallen into the trigger to let's say 75. I remember we built around 0, 0, so 0, 75, 0 should be 75 meters above the world. It will then fall back down to the ground, and that should be kind of fun. So that is our block off world script. Now we're going to need 2 of these, so we're going to duplicate this and drag it up. And then this one, we're going to stretch out across the bottom of the world. So if a player or a block falls down here, we have them covered. Okay, select, stretch, stretch. There we go. And I'm going to stretch it also down. Doesn't need to be precise. That should be good. Next up, we have block off world. We're going to just stretch that out over here. Leave that next to the trigger itself. This one here is the one that's going to register all of our blocks. And so this we're going to call the block manager. And BLOCKMGR. If you wanted to save 1/40% capacity, don't do it this way. But if you're not worried about 1/40%, which we are not, a single text object costs more than this trigger. So text object is 1/16, by the way. So we're not worried about it. My biggest concern is that there might be too many trigger enter events, depending on how many objects we have, and we might miss an object. But I'm also kind of not concerned if that happens. So I guess I'm not too concerned. So what we're going to do is create a list of objects, and this is going to be called all blocks. We need to know about all of the blocks. And we also need to know about all of the players, which is interesting. And so I'm thinking this is the one opportunity we have to save a little bit of time. So I'm going to delete this and grab that script we wrote earlier because it creates the player list. And then we're going to go through it a little bit slower just to show how this will be used. So this is going to be what we called the managers. This is the explosion manager. Okay. And so this needs to know about all of the blocks and all of the players. And so when an explosion happens, the explosion event is sent here. So we're going to create a new event name called explosion. And so this event will handle anytime an explosion happens, and it'll handle both the players and the objects. Confirm. Okay, so you'll remember we said when world is entered by player, add the player to the PLIDS list. When the player exits the world, we remove the player from the PLIDS list. We're going to quickly add a couple safety features in here and there. I also wanted to make sure to attach this script to this trigger here. So we're going to go and attach the explosion manager script. And so this safety code that I like to write is to make sure that the player is not already in the list. So if the player is not in the list, so we'll go down to list and grab does list contain item, can drop that in here. And if the list does not contain the player, we will then add that player to the PLIDS list. Inversely, when the player exits the world, if they are in the PLIDS list, we will then remove them. And this makes sure that we're not encountering any bugs if the player for some reason got removed earlier, or if the player somehow entered the world twice, which was a bug in Horizon a year or so ago that caused a lot of bugs in several worlds. So if for some reason that bug comes back, we are in the clear and safe. And so I want to say it was Wafflecopters recently spoke about how you need to think about making your world more resilient than Horizon itself. And this is what that means. It's like going a step beyond just doing what should work and thinking, what if Horizon breaks tomorrow? How does my code keep functioning even if Horizon has a bug here or there? And so just adding in these kind of safety checks is important.
That was an amazing talk Waffle did.
Where can they find it, Mama? Because I don't know.
I believe if you go to the Soapstone fan page on Facebook, they have it posted on their Facebook page on Soapstone.
Yeah, and I think they do it on YouTube as well. That's so good. Yeah, so good. Awesome. When explosion is received. Okay, so what we were doing before we left off was creating a list of objects. So we're going to go create an object list, and these are going to be all of our blocks. So we'll just call it blocks. And this trigger is going to get us a list of all the blocks. And I'm going to show you a cool trick using the same code we had just written. So we're going to go down to when trigger is entered by object, dropping that here. And this, if when world is entered by player, if not in the list, add to list. We're going to duplicate that into here by thumbsticking to the right.
I'll go get my kid off the bus, so I'll be right back. You're
good. We can then go ahead and delete all of these little variables that were in here. You're good, Mama. Go have fun. So, actually, I'm going to... No, we're good. So over here under the operators tab, that's where you can find like the add to list and all of these list things. So if you're looking for that. So when trigger is entered by object, we want to say if the object is not in the list, then add the object to the list. We'll then go over to our variables tab to grab the blocks list, dropping that by thumbsticking to the right into both of those slots. And now we have a list of the blocks. But here's the nice part. If our trigger sweeps up and down several times just to be sure that it got everything, which I'm not sure we're going to do, but we might, we will not add the object a second time when it enters a second time. So that safety code we wrote up there can be used in other ways, like in this case, to make sure we only have one copy of the block added to the list. Welcome, Gamer Wolf 360. Great to have you. Okay. So this is good. What am I missing? We've got the list. We haven't exploded the blocks. We've exploded the players, which I was going to walk through a little bit slower. I think what we need to do is like on world start, run this trigger up and down. And since the script is running on the trigger, we're going to make the trigger super big. And I'm like debating this, but I'm thinking we just don't animate the trigger. We're just going to see if it works. And so to check if it's working, we're going to debug print the length of this list. And so if we go to operators tab, there is a length of list, and you can just drop that in here and then debug print the length of blocks. Now, I don't advise doing this for one really embarrassing reason, which is that in a previous stream, I spent like it was a video that we edited. I spent like 45 minutes trying to solve a bug, but because I didn't do what I'm about to show you, I spent 45 minutes trying to figure it out. And so what you need to do is when you're debug printing, add more context and information. And so under the variable or the values tab, you can grab variable as string, which allows us to convert this number variable, which is the length of, into a string, which allows us to add it, because you can't add a number to a string. You have to add a string to a string. We can then add the string input right here to explain that this is happening on something specific. So this is the length of blocks. So I'm just going to go ahead and type in length of blocks. And now this will give us a lot more context when we're looking at our debug panel. And so my theory is that when we stop and play the world with this thing filling the entire world, it's going to create the list without us having to actually move it. So I'm going to go ahead and start by moving our explosion manager super big, and then we're going to go and fill this entire area with our trigger. And our new friend who's just joined the chat, Gamer, is asking, what are we doing? And so what we're doing is blowing stuff up. And yeah, we're just having a good old time here. So thanks for joining us. And yeah, first we're creating a list of things to blow up, and then we can start blowing it up. And I feel like the NSA is watching right now because I keep saying explode, TNT, bombs, C4. Oh my gosh. Whoopsie. So I'm going to go ahead and lock this script for a second, or excuse me, lock this trigger so we don't accidentally engage with it. And now we're going to go and check our script tab and clear and play. So we should get a couple objects. It unfortunately did not do anything, which is peculiar. So we may want to do a little something. So I'm wondering, we're going to keep this open over here. Does it allow me to do both? It does. Okay. So I'm wondering if I just like delete this and then click undo, does it do anything? No, it doesn't. Okay. So then what I was thinking of doing was saying, this will happen before. So I'm trying to think chronologically. So trigger entered by object will happen before players enter. Players enter a few seconds after the world starts. So just kind of thinking about it from that standpoint. So when world is started, we then want to disable self. So we're going to set self detection to false. And then we can then say when event is received, which will be a delay. Do we have a delay event? We do not. We'll create one. And we'll just call this event delay. There we go. Okay. Maybe not. Delay. Okay. So when delay is received, we will then set self-detection to true. And that could work. I'm hoping. We'll see in a second. Send event to object called delay. There shouldn't be a need to like add any actual delay to it. Like within a frame should be fine. Oh yeah, look at it, it's working. So clear, stop, and play, and now we've got a list of 2 blocks. Perfect. So now what we want to try is stress testing this. So we had a ton of pink blocks earlier, and so the crazy thing is we haven't had to like, oh man, this is so crazy. I'm so excited. So we're just going to create a bunch of these blocks, and then select them, and we just want to see, can the trigger detect all of them? And I should have counted these, but fortunately there's an easy way to count, which is 5 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 50. Plus 10 is 60, 61. So we got 61 blocks. So we're now going to hit play on the world and see if we return a value of 61. And the answer is we did. So all the blocks were picked up by our trigger without any issues. I do suspect there could be a scenario where it doesn't get picked up. And if we do encounter that, as we mentioned earlier on, we can just reset the trigger off and on again. We don't even have to move it up and down because the objects are already in the trigger. Now with that being created, we don't actually need that many objects, as we are going to have all of these crazy things they're building over here. Like, oh my gosh, you guys are having fun. So you can see they've got like a monkey that we're going to crush, a hamburger, a chest of gold, an arcade machine, whatever that is. And so if you haven't already seen, this roller will crush things. And so we've crushed the car, and we're at some point going to build this, what do we call this again? This is the hydraulic press? Yeah. And so we wanted to crush the hydraulic, we wanted to crush the car in the hydraulic press, pretending like we're Mr. Beast. So that's the goal. Well, thank you, Gamer. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, so, but you know, don't feel like you have to, but appreciate it. We've got our explosion manager. The next thing we need to do is actually blow some things up. And so the TNT needs to send an explosion event with a position. And so I'm going to quickly read through our script that we wrote earlier, just kind of taking it nice and slow. And then we're going to add the object exploding element afterwards. So the first thing we do in the explosion event is we set a copy list or an iterator list of player IDs called iPlids to be a copy of the plids list. So now that we have this copy, we say while the length of the iPlids list is greater than 0, meaning while this is happening, it's going to loop over and over and over again until the length is no longer 0. This does break really easily, so at the very end, you'll notice that we remove item at index 0 from the iPlids list, which prevents this from going infinite, because it will break if it's infinite. You can only run it like 80 times before it breaks, or 80 operations, and each of these lines is an operation or something like that. While loops are really limited in Horizon, so just like, we might not continue like this forever. So then we set the current player ID to be get item 0 from the iPlids list, or getting the player who's at index 0. We then set the distance direction vector to be the torso position of the current player ID minus the position that was received from the explosion. And then if the magnitude of that vector, which is the length of it, is less than 10 meters, we can add to the player's physical velocity of that current player ID by an amount, which is a vector value. And so we take the distance direction plus an upward direction to make sure that the direction is pointing up. And then we normalize that down to a 1 meter in length, which is what the normalize operator does. We then multiply that 1 meter vector, which is a direction vector, times a intensity. And to calculate the intensity, we take the number 10, which is the furthest you can be away, minus the magnitude of the distance direction. And so then that magnitude of the distance direction would be a value between 0 and 10. So the closer you are, the more intense it is. And that should do the trick. So we're going to test this out by somehow sending an explosion event to the controller. And there's a lot of ways to do this. Thanks, gamer. Appreciate you. So there's a lot of ways to send this. One option is that we can listen to the players and then receive events by listening to the player events that are received. That isn't the safest thing in the world if we start sending a lot, like if you're building a really complex game. So what we're going to instead do is connect our TNT to the explosion manager. And so it's going to send an event to the explosion manager with the position of the explosion. And so for now, what we need to do is just create a really basic script on our TNT. So we're going to go grab the script, open it up, and then call this TNT. And so we're going to copy the same methodology of Kingdom, although I do not intend for this to last, because I do think we need to make this super duper user friendly. Not to say that Kingdom's methodology wasn't user friendly, just that if a kid came in here, he might not know to press his index trigger to launch the TNT and might spend a lot of time like hammering at the TNT trying to get it to explode. And so my plan is to just, when object is released, in fact, let's just do it. When object is released by player, we're going to blow it up. So object is released by player. We then need to know about the manager object. So we're going to create an object variable, which is our explosion manager, or X manager for short. And then we're going to send event to the X manager. And that event is the explosion. And then the position is the current position of the TNT. So go and grab the position of self. And that is all we need to do to get testing this event. So now let's go and attach that to our TNT. And here it is. Open this up and attach the script TNT. And here we go. So you guys want to come and try blowing each other up? I've got 3 of them, so we can all blow. Or do I need to play on the world? Let's do that. Script and play world. Did I attach the script? I forgot to attach the manager. 1 second. Stop world. Clear. Undo. 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 And I think we wanted to tag this block though, didn't we? So that these will go flying in the end product. So I'm going to tag it block right now. And then the manager needs to be linked in, which is this trigger. Open properties panel, shrink it down, zoom in, drag trigger into the empty pill slot, close, close, and duplicate over an array tool. Okay, and if Mama comes back, there's a 4th one for her as well. Go ahead and play the world, and go ahead and grab yourself some TNT. Oh no! So if I let go, like pretty close up, it's not too bad, but we really need to increase the intensity of that. Yeah. And we don't have any sound effects or visual effects yet. So like I said, just a really basic to get this test going. And very cool. So I'm going to head into build mode real quick, and we're going to check and look at our intensity on the explosion manager. And we're going to add a multiplier to our intensity, which is just going to be a number variable that we're going to call intensity. So you can call that like 1 intensity is what that intensity level is. And we're going to multiply it by 3 or maybe even 4. We really want to make this as fun as possible. And going flying, intensity. That's not right. Try that again. Intensity. Got it. Confirm. And so we're going to set this to be, hey, why not even go to 5? Well, let's go to 4. Okay. Don't want it to be too fun. Okay. So then over here, we have this value. By thumbsticking to the right, I can duplicate this line. We'll delete the copy in a minute. Then we can delete the minus and grab an additional multiply symbol. We can move the minus to the left side, delete the extra line. Scrolling to the right, we can drop intensity on the right side of that. And then as you'll remember from math, order of operations doesn't matter when you're just multiplying. So the multiplying can happen that all works. The minus stuff has to happen here and the plus has to happen there. But anyway, y'all remember that class, I hope. And if not, no worries. So we're going to go ahead and stop the world, play the world, and heading into the world. Oh, whoa, he went for a fly. So you guys go, yeah. If you blow yourself up, you really kind of get out there. It's quite great. And so I'm going to try grabbing this object and this object. I'm blowing myself up, and then I'm throwing that cube off because you'll remember that we'd set it up so that when that object hits the ground, it spawns in at 0.75. Where'd it go? Where'd the pink block go?
You dropped it.
You dropped it? Where'd it go?
No, you dropped it.
I know, but I did it on purpose. Where is the pink block? It should have come back. Oh, there it is. The world. Oh, there must be an invisible block up there. So I set it to be too high, so it landed on top of the world. I see. Okay. What is the height of this invisible ceiling? Attributes. It is at 60. So we need to go change our position to be below 60, which is on the block. That is so funny. Okay, so we had 75. Let's go down to 45, which should be more than enough. Okay. Whew. You blowing that up? So I think the explosions are definitely on the right track in terms of player intensity. So you got to imagine that there's a timer. And so right here is about maybe where you're standing. Oh, that didn't blow up Billy. Okay, we need to really increase the distance that it allows for. Yeah. they like that. Okay, let's increase that distance a little bit because it does need to allow for further than that away. Our TNT is going to be the bomb. Also, I'll face you. So we're going to check this distance up to 20, and then maybe we'll actually create a new parameter or variable called distance, and that should allow us to easily change this later. So we'll set it to 25, and then we just drop the 25 here as well as here. And then the query is the intensity is now way too intense. So I think we need to drop it down to 2 because we've kind of doubled it by going to 25. So stop. And now if we go into the world, let's go try blowing some stuff up. So we should be able to blow Billy up from here. Yeah, let's go. And I still hit the ceiling. So let's get, oh, he just got a light bounce. There he goes flying up into the air. So I think it's a little too intense when you're too close, when you're like holding on to it, but right about here isn't too bad. I think, yeah, we need to just drop that intensity down to maybe 1, maybe 1.5 even. Let's go and try a 1.5 intensity. No, we'll just go down to 1. Okay. By making the distance larger has really increased the intensity by itself. Stop, clear, play. All right, here we go. Oh, okay, not bad, not bad. not bad. I think that could be on track, because imagine you have multiple TNTs going off at the same time, then you get the super boom. Yeah, see that? It's not like you can't super boom, okay, y'all? Oh, wait, what's up? Just ask Carlos. Thanks for joining the chat. Also, welcome DeFi Blockchain. Great to have you guys. So, let's boom. That's so fun. Yep. And I'm gonna be near this one. Blow it up. Let's go. Oh, he's constantly grabbing it so he can fly. Now, if I fall off the world, I should get returned. If the blocks fall off the world, they should get returned. Wow, that was perfect timing. And there we go. Sweet. Whew. Oh, okay. What do we got? I think we're good. Okay, I was just trying to see if there's any chat messages I missed. Thank you all so much for joining. If you haven't already, be sure to drop a like on the video. Really appreciate it. Definitely appreciate the support for the channel. And we've been building some TNT in here, you know, and we've been blowing people up. That was definitely the goal of today's video, but we got so much more to do. Also, you can see that they've got some crazy things being built over here. Oh, they got like a sarcophagus and lots of other things. Oh, a bicycle. There's so many things that we're going to be smashing here momentarily. So excited for that. Oh, man. So let's go and... I really want to get the hydraulic press working, but we really need to finish the block explosions. Okay, block explosions are not that hard, okay? Breathe in. Breathe in. Y'all get me so excited with those objects over there. I haven't heard from Billy or Kingdom. Are you guys able to talk? Or am I deaf?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Oh, okay, you guys are alive. Okay, good. I was worried I had something to go wrong. I have a request. So we really need to take these objects down to size. So it's very easy. It looks like these are all grouped. It's very easy to select all of these objects. And with them all selected, I can then open up their properties panel and make them all interactive, give them all physics and grabbable, and then change the attributes to block. So these can now all be used in our explosion world, but they need to be the right size. So this guy obviously needs to be able to fit inside of our crusher. And so there's that height limit here. So I just need you to make sure that everything can fit within the top height parameter of this so that they'll fit into the squasher. And so when you're done with that, go ahead and place them around the world as little Easter eggs for people to go and find. And then I'm going to finish writing the little block code up here, which is more or less duplicating what we did for the player. And sorry guys, looks like I crashed to my home space. Let's try reconnecting and launching. That was strange. Yeah, so basically the plan is that we're going to duplicate the code for the players and then do that for the objects. Oh, hey mama, can you hear me? Can anyone hear me? I hear them, but they can't hear me. That's so weird. Okay, so it definitely seems crashed. I'm gonna quit QuestLink. Try again. I might need to close out of Oculus over here. Boop. There we go. Might have to force quit this. Close the program. No, we don't need to try and figure out what happened. It's Horizon, okay? It's buggy. And launch. Okay, we'll be back in just a second. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. This is definitely a good time. If you haven't already, we're creating a world called Builders Love Explosions, and the premise is that you can build things and then you can blow them up. And so today we're adding the blowing up feature. Sorry, my nose is a little itchy. I've got half of a Sprite in the fridge downstairs, and I am like dying for it, although I probably should just drink water because I'm parched. But I'm like, oh, sugar. It's bad. Okay, I'm getting a 3-dot loading icon still, so I think I'm going to power off completely and then power back on. Okay, there we go. Hey, it's my face! Hi! Okay, we're going to do that, and I'm curious what this 200 worlds, and I mean, can I be harsh? On coin, says Billy. Well, I mean, I'm not even online, but I'm gonna be a little harsh to Meta Horizon. They launched some new worlds recently. They launched lots of worlds. They're pretty mediocre considering they're coming from Meta. There's some good ones out there, don't get me wrong, but the fact that they have 200 or whatever the world count is for Meta Horizon isn't really saying much if they're not amazing worlds, right? Like, so I don't know that having a large number of worlds is something to be proud of. That maybe is an indicator that you have low quality content. Not saying that's true, but in terms of Meta Horizon, it definitely is. So they have some good stuff, and I've heard from newer visitors to Horizon that they enjoy it. But once they see some of the really amazing talent that's out there, they're just like, seriously, this is what Horizon puts out? When there's some pretty crazy things out there. So my hope, and with our some of the stuff we're doing over at Vidyuu, is trying to push some of these creators into that light so that we can see them getting more work. And so we did Tomato Galaxy last year. We also did the Survival House. And so we're hoping to continue pushing some of these awesome creators. We had Oculus is in the chat. I think it was like 35 creators on each of those projects. It was just insane. We had specialty artists who just did like fashion pieces and just like bringing specialists in for each of their niche or their skill sets. It was super awesome. So anyway, I want to see Meta do better because I think that their low quality worlds are dragging the platform down. Because if you're a new user and you're not seeing the best of the best from the creator of the app, it's a little disheartening, I imagine. Okay. Question from Jay is, could this be used on a projectile launcher so like it's a grenade launcher? Yes. Can you ask more about your question? I'd love to hear more. I am still trying to get it. I think Oculus is broken. Close Oculus. I might need to force quit. Control, Alt, Delete. Is that still a thing? Oh gosh. Okay, it is. Okay, we're good. Oculus EXE. Force quit. In task. Okay, that hopefully will make this work. Try again. Getting this sort of like not available thing, which is weird. Mark Zuckerberg needs to make a world. That's gold. I definitely believe if Mark was in charge of Horizon, this place would be immaculate. Just my personal opinion, though. I don't think he would settle for what we see happening. But he's working on hardware, I believe. That's my guess. And so we see a lot of him making posts about the hardware that's coming out, and so I think that's an indicator of where his head's at. And we do need better hardware to really push this space, so I don't blame him. Now, why can't I get in? Turn this off, turn this on, select. I'm thinking I might be in a situation where I need to restart my computer. It seems to have crashed so bad. Search for Oculus app. I mean, I did force quit it. Oh yeah, Mark is definitely not in charge of Horizon. No, he's got bigger fish to fry. Okay, it looks like Oculus app is restarting. Yeah, I wish he was, but no. This is not his baby, as a lot of people like to think it is. He's in charge of, like, I don't know, something bigger. They got, what do they call, delegation? Checking the status of your Oculus app. This is so strange. But to go back to Jay's question there, I wanted to reread it. Could this be used on a projectile launcher? So, like, use it to, like, a grenade launcher? That's the part that gets me. Like, I don't understand the last half of this question. I'd love to have some clarification, Jay. Could this be used on a projectile launcher? So if a projectile launcher is grouped into a grenade, for sure, right? Like you can launch objects, you cannot launch non-objects. You could move an object in a direction, so sure, there's some amount of like move to in a specific direction. Absolutely, you could move a projectile launcher if you're like looking for a low capacity solution. In Horizon Royale, which we showed at the very beginning of the live stream, we actually have grenades that when you blow up will send you flying. It's pretty cool. And so that's my first thought. Oh, look at that! Oh, we're finally back in. Oh, I was so worried. Oh, goodness. Wait, we're connected, right? Connect me to the thing. I see the 3 dots. 3 dots, and we're connected to the desktop. Okay. Sweet, guys, we're back. Oh, so sorry that took so long, but glad to be back. I'm going to minimize this screen. I've got all of this out here. It's not the highest quality, but that's okay. We're going to switch back into here, which I know it's black for a second. I just have to load up Horizon. I need a pen. You should have better audio, so that's a win. Library, drop this app is now opening. I'm going to, in the meantime, close this one down. Minimize. And then we're gonna open up your guys' chat. Oh, this is such a so weird, such a weird shot. Yeah, not sure what you guys are seeing, but oh yeah, that's so weird, isn't it? Like, look at that. That's so weird. Okay, one last one to do. Lock that in place. And I also needed to bring in the chat from Google Chrome. There it is. And placing you guys right there. Nothing bigger than Horizon Worlds. Boy's got jokes. Or girl, I don't know. I'm just teasing. It's funny. Okay, so we're back into Horizon. Let's go meet up with the friends. I'm going to join on them. I find this is actually the fastest way to get somewhere, is just joining people now. I love that new little sidebar. Whew. Yeah, no, I mean, like, if you think about the long-term vision, Defy, it's like, imagine the future of the metaverse in 10 years. And I know like 2 years have passed since we said 10 years, but even 8 years from now, right? Like the future is so much more interconnected. Like it's not just a VR headset. It's an AR mixed with VR that you can just like tap to switch between the two, but it's just a pair of glasses, right? And it's lightweight. So there's no like bulky batteries or anything. And you know, who knows what that's going to look like or how we're going to get there, but that's what he's working on. Like that is so much bigger than what we're seeing here in Horizon. And I think a lot of the things that we see people upset about with Horizon are just like technical limitations. Like if you want a mobile headset that you can take with you anywhere, you're going to have some technical limitations. That being said, I just saw today, what is it, April 5th or something? Apple's going to be doing their big event, so we might hear about some new tech there that could be very exciting. So I'm quite excited myself. MetaQuest Pro too. Yeah, no, the MetaQuest Pro is nothing to be super jealous of, other than like the face tracking, which is super cool. And even that is for your benefit, not for the person wearing it. So yeah, MetaQuest Pro it's cool, but it's definitely not something I would recommend to anybody. You'll actually, if you have a computer, you'll get higher pixel density just by using your computer. So you might be getting like a Quest Pro-like experience if you use your computer. Okay, weird. I wasn't able to travel. It might think I'm there, and therefore I need to travel somewhere else to get there. Let's go through... Let's go through Bobber Bay fishing. Since we were talking about Meta Horizon Worlds, I want to show what I mean and not necessarily like... Okay, I'm going to mute myself while I'm in here. So like this world has a really cool... Oh my gosh, there's so many kids. This world has a really cool like fishing mechanic and concept. You grab your fishing pole, you press and hold your index trigger and you can throw it out, and then you pull it up and it reels in, and then you throw it out and the fish comes out. And in terms of the mechanic, pretty solid. In terms of the aesthetic, not super solid. So like I was just quite disappointed with the aesthetics in this world, and I thought, how do you like pair such great scripting skill to relatively mediocre aesthetics? And then that is then paired with like, there's these elements here and there that just kind of like baffle me. So we've seen a lot of really great fires over the years, and this by far has to be one of the worst fires I've ever seen. It's just hand animated text that's spinning and grouped. It's so mediocre compared to all the scripting we see on the fish and the bobber. I'm just baffled that this made it. It seems like an afterthought. And so that's what I mean when I'm like, how does a world like this come together as an official Horizon world, and then something like this is just like, yeah, that's acceptable. And then there's just lots of little pieces of aesthetics where I'm shocked that there isn't more mesh objects in here. Like we have mesh palm trees that look really cool. I'm shocked we don't see like one or two of those around. I don't know, there's just some questions in my mind. And so my first instinct was maybe this was built 6 or 7 or 8 months ago and they just now released it. And in that case, great job. For that period of time, we didn't know all the cool tricks we know now. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead back into build mode, you guys. That was our little tangent. Also, welcome back, Gamer. Great to have you back. AI GitHub verse. Developer tools for scripting code APIs into the cloud verse meta code. Okay, I feel like you're just spitting out words now because I don't recognize anything you're saying. But I love the idea of Horizon having its own APIs where you could, build a tool and then everybody could use it and share it with other people. Definitely lots of opportunities for sure. Although I think safety is the #1 priority in Horizon, but I also think that could be the thing that is what makes Horizon successful is their hyper focus on safety. Yo, Billy, thank you for that notice. Do you mind having either yourself or Mama Bree bounce out to your personal space until I get there? And then once I arrive, you guys should be able to join back. Because it might not be letting me join because the coin's there. Also, welcome if you've just joined us. We've been blowing each other up. It's been great. And yeah, it's been great. Okay, here we are. We made it. Okay, is everybody here?
Even come back in.
No, we're good. We're good. Oh, I'm not muted. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good.
Oh,
y'all, we're good.
But your coin is still there. Look.
What? Really?
Yeah,
Where?
It's right there.
I don't see a coin. That's so strange. You guys have been flattening everything, huh? Look at this. They've been having fun.
Watch what the monkey does.
Oh gosh, do I really want to see this monkey? Oh no.
Yep.
Okay, so we do need to reorient some of the groups so that the orientation is wide out correctly. Oh goodness gracious, this is horrifying. This is horrifying. Oh my goodness gracious.
He's monkeying around.
He is monkeying around, all right. We will come back to that. That's not my highest priority right now. I'm going to go blow up blocks. If you guys wanted to try reorienting some of the objects so that they work better, go for it. The car almost works. There's some elements that need to be adjusted to get the stuff to work. So Mr. Chris asks, do we know if we will get movable wavy water that we see when we first sign in? I think they're teasing it because they're working on it. That would be my guess. But if they're just teasing it to make the world look better, I also wouldn't be surprised. So it could go either way, unfortunately. We're on a mobile chipset, so it's like, if you have almost nothing in your world, you can make a wavy water work. But I think, I don't actually know, but I would like to think that they're working on some sort of mobile shader that would enable something like that to happen. So fingers crossed that's in the works. All right, we are back into the explosion manager. So picking up where we left off, we've now got a list of all of the blocks. We can now go ahead and delete this debug print. We can then go down here, tracking that we've tracked all the players that entered and exited the world. We have the explosion event going off, And what we want to do is create 2 separate explosion events. And so we want to do a player explosion event and we want a object explosion event. So we're going to create one called plid, or we'll call this player boom, player explosion. Yeah, I'm not sure. Player boom. Player boom sounds good. And they'll do block boom. Okay, confirm. And then we're going to do another one, which will be called block boom. And so by splitting this up, it'll make our script a lot easier to read and modify in the future. And so that is the reasoning behind this. So then we can grab this while loop, dragging that into the player boom, dragging up to here. And then we need this position to come through. So we're going to create a new vector parameter, also called position, POS, and confirm. And then what we need to do is send both events through. So send event player boom, where there it is, player boom to self with position, duplicate, and now we want to send the block boom event. There it is, to self with position. And then down here under block boom, we need to receive it with that vector position. So we'll go ahead and type that in, POS, and confirm. Okay, so now we could use a while loop. Oh, it won't let you back in now, Mama? Oh my goodness gracious. We might need to like try and close this session out. So let me finish this, I guess. I'm thinking. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Mama. You're going to have to hang out from there and hopefully you'll be able to get back in soon. Maybe they'll let us know when the coin disappears. Okay, so when block boom is received, previously we've done a while loop. We actually want to do a regular loop. And so we're going to grab this send event to object. And the event that we're going to be sending is the block boom event. So I'm actually going to delete it and then drag up here and select this one. Then thumb sticking to the right, I can duplicate it in here. And then to make this loop, we actually want to grab the if statement. And so we want this to perform similar to a while loop. So where it says length of something is greater than 0. And so the thing is going to be a list of blocks. So we're going to create a new object list called iBlocks. iBlocks. There it is, and confirm. And so now we can say while the length of iBlocks is greater than 0. Now it's giving us an error. Because I forgot to make this forgot to hit the list button down here. Try that again. iBlocks. And confirm. There we go. And drag that into here. Now it works. Okay. So then we loop until this is empty, which means we need to remove item at index 0 from the iBlocks list. So now this will loop through all of the blocks, except we haven't added. So right here, this set iPlids to plids, we can actually do that up in here and then duplicate this down to here for our iBlocks. And so I'm just moving this in here to kind of create some like parallels between the two. So it looks, okay, you can kind of follow the flow. And so this is similar. And then if length of iBlocks is greater than 0, send block boom to self with position, remove item at index 0 from iBlocks. So we're going to cycle through this until it's complete. When it is complete, we can use an else statement at the end if we need to do something to like say, hey, I'm completed. And then what we want to do is check the distance on our block. And so distance direction is what we were using for that. This happens in a while loop, which means it happens within a split second. It's probably not safe to use it over here unless we added a slight delay, which we're not going to. So we're going to create a separate vector, which we're going to call block dist direction. So it's just the one that we're going to use for the blocks. And then I'm abbreviating everything by cutting it down to size. There we go. And so then here we're going to set the block dist direction, and then we're going to delete this. And then we're going to also need to know about the current block. So we're going to create an object called current block. And so really we're just mirroring everything that we did in the first one. Confirm. And so then we're going to go get item 0 from the list. So we'll set current block to be get item 0, which we had right here. And if you're not familiar with where to find these are all on the operators tab at the bottom here under the list section. So we're getting item 0 from the iBlocks list. and we're setting that to be our current block. And then back up under object, we can grab position of object, dropping that into here, and grabbing the position of the current block, subtracting position just like before, which gives us our distance direction. And then after that, we check that distance direction to see if it's within the distance that we've already set up for players. And if the magnitude of that distance direction vector is less than the distance that we set up, which was 25, we can then add velocity, but it's actually a different one. So down here under motion, you'll find push with mass. We actually want to use the one that's not with mass. If you use mass, it won't affect them all equally. And so push should make them affected equally, if I'm right. We'll see. Okay, so then we're going to just drag this into here. So you'll remember that we're normalizing the block distance direction plus 7, which gives us a direction vector that we want to launch it in. Then we multiply that by the intensity, which is distance minus the distance. So the max distance minus the distance of the current one multiplied by an additional intensity value, which is currently set to 1, so it doesn't actually do anything right now. But we could change that later. And now with that set up, we should be able to launch all of our blocks, and that should work. So our TNT now just needs to feel good, so it should function. Looks like people are having fun with it down there. So script, stop world, clear. And just for our testing purposes, we're going to grab this, duplicate, and array, quite a few copies, select, duplicate, array, there we go, and array. And now let's go and hit the play button and blow it up. Okay, we'll see if this works. So right now it's just let go to blow up. And oh my goodness gracious. Did that work? I'm not sure. There was like a delay there that I wasn't expecting.
The sky is falling. The sky
It was
is falling.
weird because it like, why was there so much delay in it? There shouldn't have been that much delay. I mean, I guess maybe we need to use... Huh. I'm very curious. Huh. When we had them all there, it was very clear to me that there was a very long delay. Yeah, I mean, you can just see how much longer that took for all of the interactions. So we need to speed this event up to happen as fast as possible without breaking a while loop. So we're going to stop. We're going to play that one more time. And we're going to just blow these up just one more time so we can see it from a wide perspective. So go ahead and let go of one of those for us, Billy, so we can watch it. Yeah, it's weird. It didn't seem to be intense from further away either. It was so strange. It was hard to tell because of the delay, though. I think that was really the problem that we were facing. Okay, so under our explosion manager, we were doing, and so this is probably the bug that you were experiencing, Kingdom, which was that this delay just makes it look like it's slowly moving outwards. When explosion is received with position, set iPods to plid, send player boom to... I assume that's what you were working on last time. I wasn't sure. I'm just guessing. So what we have right now is we're using an event loop rather than a while loop for our objects. And it's so slow because you can only do, 60 of these per second, which seems like it should be fast enough, but it takes a full second to do them all. So what we need to do is do as many of these within 10 seconds as we can. So kind of like chunking it into sets of 10. So previously we were doing if length. So we're going to still do an if length, but instead we're going to add a while loop inside of here and then while loop through 10 of these at a time. And so that should make it happen 10 times faster is my theory. So we're going to create a new number variable called I, and then confirm, and then we'll set I to 0, and then that happens outside of the while loop, and then this sending block happens after the while loop. Removing item at index happens inside. And then we need to say while I is less than whatever amount. So for now, we're just going to type in 10, but we could make like a variable for this later. So while I is less than 10, we're then going to make sure to add 1 to I after every single go through. It can actually happen anywhere since we don't use I anywhere. We're just going to grab a +1. And now this should run 10 times faster without breaking. Only problem is this while loop needs to cancel if there are no blocks left in the list. And so to make sure that that happens, I think we're going to do I a different way, where we say while I is greater than. So we say while I is greater than 0, and then instead of setting I to 0, and so we'll subtract 1. So we're going to say set I to the minimum, which is the length of blocks, or 10. And so if the length of blocks is greater than 10, it'll set it to 10. But if it's less than 10, it'll set it to whatever that number is. So the while loop will cancel early. So set I to min length of I blocks, or 10. And then while I is less than that, then we subtract 1. And so what we need to catch is the last case to see if that actually works. So we can imagine that if there are 10 items in the list and it goes through all 10, when it gets down to item 1, it's going to still function for item 1. So 10, then 9, then 8, then 7. But 10 is actually item 9. That's the problem. So when it gets to item 1, it's actually item 0. So it should work. Should work, I think. I guess we'll find out when it breaks. Okay. So let's go ahead and play this and see if our explosion looks cleaner. I'll have Billy, do you want to go ahead and blow up or Kingdom? Go for it. Yep, let go and see what happens. That seemed to be a lot better. That definitely seemed to be a lot better. Let's go and stop that and play. And let's do that one more time. I gotta watch that. It's so hard to see it happen so fast. Oh, that was interesting. Didn't do anything at all. Oh, oh snap. Well, that definitely did something. And so what we should see happen is they all fall back in from the sky, which is great in and of itself. And so, yeah, not bad, not bad. We definitely need to add sound effects into this. This is really painful without sound effects. And boom. I think it's working. There's definitely more that needs to happen, but this is a really good start. So for instance, our hammer locks things in place, so we need to make sure to unlock things that have been locked. Whew. We're at 1:13. It's been an hour and 25 minutes. Is that really all it's been? Because I tell you, I am like looking at this thinking, man, we could use a quick break. What are you guys thinking? I'm feeling like this isn't as explosive close as it is farther away. It's like almost too even on these blocks. Try it again. How much more capacity do we have left? A little bit. Okay. Let's go and select all of these. Duplicate. I just want to see kind of like the wave that these produce as they fall off. We're definitely gonna hit capacity soon. This is, yeah, there's capacity. Okay, and delete. What is it? There we go. Okay, world and play. So, Kingdom, your hand is kind of in the way. Would you mind moving your hand, sir? Thank you.
I think his remote's dead or something.
Oh, got it, got it. Okay, come on, stand over here next to the end here, Billy. And I'll let you know when you're ready. So 5. Oh, not bad. Let's try that one more time. Oh, that was pretty solid. That was pretty solid. Man, it felt like the distance on that went way further than it should have. So these blocks are 1 meter in length. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, I guess it is about 25. So it's just the ones on the end that shouldn't go very far. Okay, so what I'm going to have you do, Kingdom, is grab a TNT and stand a little bit further this way, a little bit further, and a little bit further, a little bit further. Oh, that way. Sorry, the other way. There you go. Okay, there we go. Right there. Go ahead and let go when you're ready. Wait. What?
You push me, but not the block.
They imploded. What?
Towards the energy. It's like the force.
I feel like he wrote a hacked TNT block. What? Why is this going in the wrong direction all of a sudden? Okay, player's definitely working in the right direction. Why is the TNT going towards you? Terrence, thanks for joining us. Unfortunately, right now our session's kind of broke. Mama was actually in here and she hasn't been able to get back in.
Your coin is still there.
Definitely next time, if we have space, just ask and we'd love to have you join.
I can step out so I could come in.
I'm pretty confident we're gonna take a break. We're gonna take like a little mental LakesO 5 brain break. But I want to figure out if this is working or if that was just like a weird bug. Okay, so I'm gonna let go. It worked that time. Is it just one of the TNTs doesn't work? I don't understand.
He picked the first one. The very first one is the one he chose.
Okay, I'm gonna stay in build mode. I did the first one too. Why don't you try it? You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking his hand was messed up. That was so cool. I think his hand was messed up.
That was really good.
I think we should make it so that they blow up higher. Like they should go higher up. So let me go
instead of sideways?
Yeah, instead of sideways, it should go more up. So if I go into the explosion manager for people, I like the way people works. But for blocks, we can change this value of 7 to 14. Which should just be a ridiculously large amount of excess upward momentum. And we'll have Billy try that one more time for us. And I'd like to go for a bomb too. So whenever you're ready, Billy, blow us up. Ah! Yeah, that was nice. That was nice.
Yeah, well spread.
So let's keep blowing these up. Okay, and boom. They almost stay too nicely together? Am I crazy? Maybe that's a good thing? I'm not sure. I feel like before they had more imparted random, whereas now there's...
See if you could get him from down there. See what happens. Whoa, look at the head. Let's go.
I don't know that was terrible. That wasn't too bad.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good. It cleared the whole area out. Look at that.
I love that there's just this giant pile of blocks down here with a car in the middle.
I'll grab this and see what happens.
This is great. This is great. Okay, so we're on the right track. We really need sound effects. We need visual effects. I'm trying to think what else. Like, there's definitely a bunch of other things. We need a timer that counts down until it bombs and blows up. But yeah, we're on the right track here, guys. If you have any questions right now, I'm going to just take another like 3 minutes before shutting down the stream. But
look what happens here. Look. Right.
Feel free to ask questions in the chat, guys.
Nothing moves but me.
Nothing moves but you.
Right. Oh, that's because you pulled it out.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe it was the position it was at. I did pull it out, yeah. It is funny when they get stuck down here, they don't come out. So like, I'm thinking we need 2 TNT blocks. And that was the other thing that we want to work on, is making sure that one TNT can explode another TNT. I think we can set that up pretty easily, actually. So I'm going to let go of both of these at the same time. Yeah. Jeez. That was insane. That's fun. So we really want to have a ton of TNT is like the idea here. So I'm going to stop the world for a second. I'm I'm going to stop the world for a second. We're going to add more TNT. I was thinking it would be fun to even make like TNT intensities so that each TNT could have like more or less intensity than the others. But for now, there's 16 TNT. So the way that we're going to make it so that the TNT can blow up other TNT, and we have just a few too many objects, we'll just delete one row of those, is waiting for that to say we're good. You not happy with us, little gamey? Whoa, what was that? Content rating question mark? Oh, they changed the way this looks. Huh. Huh. It's not the big deal. Oh, it says we're 7% over capacity. What? Oh, the TNT must be way more intense than regular objects. Well, we want lots of TNT, so we might have to come back and look at why this TNT takes up so much capacity. We'll delete 4, I guess, for now. Okay, there we go. So we'll have 12 TNT. It's going to be able to blow each other up. And so the way this will work is that when we go through and loop through all of the events, we're going to send the event that blows the TNT up to the TNT, or to all objects, actually. And so this only happens if we're inside the distance. So we send this event called grab end to the current blocks with a server player. And we'll change this to be like explode or something later. But for now, this is the way the script works. So script clear. And I really want to get the sound effects linked into the TNT because that is such an important element. So when event is received called explosion, we then send explosion. We then want to go and send event explosion to self. And then what we could do, we could actually add a delay to this, which would be kind of nice. Send event with delay of 1 second, 2 seconds, 1.5 seconds. That's what we did for the grenades in Horizon Royale. 1.5 seconds was great there. It'll be great here. Okay, so then when explosion is received, we also need to know about a couple of things, a sound effect and visual effect. So I'm going to quickly link those in, sound FX, and confirm, and a visual effects. And once we've linked these in, this should really come together. Getting that kind of like fatigue you get at the end of a building session. So I'm just like racing to like finish this off. Solid, play sound, play visual effects. We then need to move them to the position of self, which we'll save as a current position. So I'll create a new vector, current position, click confirm. So we're going to set current position. Now we might want to introduce additional visual effects and sound effects at some point, but for now this is okay. So move the visual effect and the sound effect to the current position and then play them. And then over here on our explosion manager, we were sending the grab end event. We can now just send the explosion event to the current block. The query is that if this comes from the block that already exploded, we need a way to track that it's already exploded because otherwise it's just going to explode indefinitely. And that's a bit of a problem. So the TNT should not explode. Maybe if it's the distance is less than something. So it's like if it's greater than this, but, or if it's less than this, but greater than this. So the magnitude of the distance must be greater than 1 meter for it to actually explode the object. Okay. That should do the trick to keep it from infinitely exploding. We just need to go into our TNT down here, leaving just 1 that we can then loop in our visual effects and sound effects from up here. So here's the visual effects from before. We'll drop that over into VFX, turn off play on start, and change this to the smoke poof, and there we go. And then our sound effect here, we have explosion 2, which is not bad. What is this one? Oh, that's the like ignition sound, which we should also use. So sound effect goes there for explosion, and then we're going to make that distance pretty big. Yep, pretty big. Maybe a little louder. And then the last thing we need to do is go in and add that ignition sound, which was pretty solid. So TNT, go into here where we're going to have a new object variable called ignition, and confirm. And so then we're going to play sound on ignition. There we go. An object is released by player. Ooh, this is interesting. This is very interesting. This is very, very interesting. Set current position of self, move sound effect ignition to current position, then play sound, and then explosion. So previously we were using, I literally just changed this to explosion, but that said, grab end would allow us to have that ignition sound, which should make this way cooler. Okay, lots of cool stuff done. Let's go and see what happens. Billy, where you at? Anybody else here?
Of course.
Did I blow everybody up? Oh, there's only one TNT. That's a mistake. That's okay. We'll try this out first, and then we'll go and do the multi-TNT explosion. Oh, I didn't hear the... Oh, I forgot to link it in. That's what I forgot. That was great. Okay, build mode, script, stop. Oh, you know what he had earlier that was really good? Kingdom had a spinning effect that was really awesome to the blocks. Let's go and add a little bit of random. I think random would be awesome. We need more TNT. We need this TNT to have the ignition sound. And here's the ignition sound. Drag it into here. Okay, perfect. And then the thing that I wanted to see is the objects. I like the amount of intensity, but I want to add a little bit of random, which will be right here. So it's a new vector from XYZ, dropping that into here, grabbing a number value of 14 for our Y, because we liked that, but we wanted to make it go randomly left, right, up, down, all that sort of thing. So it kind of like feels a little bit more like a random explosion. So we'll grab random number with decimals for our X between -4 and +4. And then we will do that to all of them. Does that work, or is that too in? It should be fine. It should be fine. We'll see in a minute. And then we wanted to add some random spin. And so over here there was a spin, which will just drop here. So we're going to spin the current block by another new vector with random values. And I think this is fine. I don't know that we need to actually change that. So script, clear and play. Let's try this out with one bomb. Mama, if you're still here, try and get in, because I think Kingdom might have bounced. Oh, I didn't hear the ignition sound. Oh, but that explosion was so much better! Oh, that explosion.
Wait.
You heard the ignition sound? I didn't hear the ignition. Let me go check it.
Like,
maybe the distance was... Yeah, okay, I'm glad you heard it, because I think the distance might have not been far enough. Let's go check. Yeah, it's 25. Let's set that up to like 70. And then let's go to our bomb here, and then duplicate quite a few copies. You ready for this?
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm just giving these a little bit of distance, so we should be able to trigger them one after another after another. It should be pretty gnarly. Okay. Here we go. And they're still blowing up. Oh, it's weird. They're not giving that much of an. Oh,
They are. They just.
they're all happening at the same time, so it's counteracting each other. Okay, they need to disable. They need to disable for a few seconds, but this is way too fun.
They're just going around.
They're just like stuck down there. Okay. Definitely some things that need to happen. I've got a few ideas that I think will make this better. Quite a few, actually. Let's go. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's go into here. When we were checking this distance, let's make sure that this distance is actually an additional if statement. This is so ridiculous. So we were doing if magnitude was less than, and then we're going to say it has to be within 10 meters to get ignited. Or maybe we'll say like 8 meters to get ignited, and then with greater than 1 meter, so it doesn't, but we don't actually need to do that anymore because I'm about to write the code in a way that prevents that from happening. So then over here on our TNT, we want to add just a slight amount of random to our delay. So here we have new random number with decimals. So if they happen to be within the same distance, it'll still be slightly different. So 1.2 to 2 seconds. So they'll kind of like go boom, 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 which should give us a much better, not like in sync. And then the other thing that we needed to do was disable them. So we go Boolean and then called has exploded, confirm, and then has exploded is set to false on start. And then when object is released, we run an if statement that says if not has exploded. So we're checking to see if it has not exploded yet. Then we do all the things. But if it has exploded, we don't do the things. So we say if not exploded, then do all of these things. And then what we're going to do is set has explode to true. Although I am thinking it might be nice to set it to true here. And in that case, we could cancel setting this event. No, we're going to do it up here. This is fine. Okay, so then it says has explode to true. And then what we need to do is also re-enable. So we need a re-enable event to set explosion back to false. And so we'll call this event re-enable, re-enable, and confirm. And then we're going to send this event with a delay to prevent these from going off indefinitely. Send event re-enable to self after, I don't know, 16 seconds. And then what we want to do in this re-enable event is also move self to that kind of up in the air position that we had determined earlier. So move self to what we determined was 0.55, or I think it was 45 actually. And then that'll fall from the sky and be ready to go again. So when it explodes, we could have it disappear. In fact, when it explodes, yes, move to that point in the sky so it's kind of getting re-brought back. And then we'll do 8 seconds later, it's ready to go again. I think that'll be safe. I think that'll be safe. Okay, so clear and play, and let's go blow some stuff up. Okay, so I'm gonna grab the TNT, and then good luck.
Oh, I blew up in the sky.
Okay, so it didn't like, they didn't all blow up. It didn't like chain react like I was expecting it would, but it did a little bit. Okay, that wasn't terrible. That wasn't terrible.
It's the one that were nearby.
It's definitely not creating the infinite loop, which is good. And oh no, get me away! Get me... Oh, I kind of think it needs to blow up TNT that's a little bit further away. That's kind of my initial thought process here. So explosion manager. Let's change this to 15 or 16.
I think the
So this will blow up more TNT. So stopping world. Version 02. I think this is version 02. We're definitely doing more, but we're still very early stages. I'm hitting publish, Billy. I think this is where we're going to stop today. So if you're still watching and you'd like to come check this out, Terrence, we'd love to have you join us. I'm going to hang out probably for like max 25 minutes in publish mode, and then I'm going to go get some food. So publishing this world. Yeah, you too. Oh, man. This has been great. I'm glad that this happened in a pretty short period of time compared to last time, too. We definitely made a lot of really good progress. Really huge thanks to Kingdom for getting us started on this path last time and coming by today for the rebuild. Oh, Kale brought me broccoli. Broccoli's the best. Oh, broccoli. How much more do we have?
Broccoli.
So good.
Where's the cheeseburger and fries? Never mind the broccoli.
Portal is dropped. Although I'm thinking we should get a better picture. Billy, get in here.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Come in.
Oh, what?
Right.
Oh. Okay, good enough. Okay, hop through that portal. I'll see you on the other side. Select from photos, select, confirm, and visit world. On my way! All right, we will see you there. If you're joining us, we'd love to have you. And I'm going to end the stream after like 5 minutes of playing with this new mechanic. Broccoli. Should we invite some people to come and check this out? Invite to world.
Should?
Sure, why not? Silo's online. Send him an invite. Or if Cyborg would be interested. It's an invite to Takatato, see if he wants to check it out. Hollow might enjoy
Here's
this.
a cheeseburger instead of the broccoli.
Do you want me to get a cheeseburger instead of broccoli? Oh, there's an actual cheeseburger in here. Oh, we gotta crush this. We gotta crush this. I love mine smashed. Get me a smash burger, please, and thank you. There we go. I don't know what this is. We really do need to go fix the properties on those. I know what's wrong with them.
Crushing that burger.
The good news is it sort of works, even though the animation isn't right, but
It's just underneath.
yeah.
This one cracks me
Hey,
up.
Silo!
Man.
Have a
So, fellas,
cheeseburger.
what is
I just
going
smashed
on
it.
over here?
It's delicious when it's smashed.
That is funny.
So, you like TNT?
this world?
Everybody likes TNT, right? Come with me over here.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure we do this safe and safely. So we're gonna. You want to stand on the machine? You can operate the machine.
Do I need my forklift certification?
Yeah, you do.
Just hop up here.
All right, here we go. Dropping the TNT now. Oh, sorry. Ah!
Oh shit. That's pretty neat. I like that.
Wasn't that
Look
crazy?
at the monkey.
Hey,
like
Tay, welcome,
Blow
welcome.
up your friends instead of throw your friends.
Yeah,
You see
blow
the
up your
monkey?
friends. Oh, the monkey. What are you
Monkey
doing over there,
around.
dude? Relax. Relax, man. It's all good.
He's like,
Oh,
machine's
Takatato.
broken, machine's broken.
Oh,
Hello.
no. Ah!
Oh my god.
Hope you like explosions, buddy. So yeah, I'm gonna blow up a bunch of TNT at the same time. So here we go. Oh, that just
Oh
threw
my
me off the
God.
world.
Oh.
Holy lag.
It's like, what is that?
I hope you're okay. Where's the TNT?
I'm stuck in a green box. Help me.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna have to come and blow you out of there. 1 second.
Oh, he's in a recycling
Please
bin.
come and blow me out of here.
I'm coming. We're gonna have to blow you out like a cartridge. Okay, and dropping. Get out of there.
So I'll see you.
Oh no, what happened to that TNT? That thing was massive. Did y'all see
What you
that?
doing?
Dude, he's recording right now live.
Nice.
Say hi to the live stream, Silo.
Hello.
Also,
What's
no one could hear you
happening?
earlier, Taka. It turned out my mic was muted on accident. Whoops.
Oh, no
I'm
worries.
watching on the TV. On the
How
monitor.
are you?
I hear
Well,
you.
guys, we're gonna call it there. If you want to join us in build mode or excuse me, in publish mode, you're welcome to come and join us here with Takatata, Silo, and myself and Billy. But otherwise, we will catch you in the next live stream. Don't forget to check out the Lakes' live channel for more avant-garde streams, not as purposeful as this one. And we will see you in Horizon. Bye.
It's like, it's funny.
Bye.
I hope it-